Yeah! Welcome to Unity of Boulder. I appreciate that applause. Thank you very much. No, you were clearly pointing at me. You were not pointing at the band. But yeah, you guys are awesome. Welcome to Unity of Boulder. We have a change of plans today. It originally was supposed to be Santisha speaking at this service, but she's doing so much work putting on this Christmas show that is this Wednesday evening. She just couldn't do it, so Jack is going to fill in for her today at this service. But she is fine. She just could not find the time to write a talk and a good moving sermon. But this Wednesday, Christmas Eve, we are putting on our Christmas service. We are going to have 2 shows at 5 p.m. and 7 p.m. It's free. Anyone can come. You can get tickets for it in the lobby. Please grab extra tickets to give to neighbors, family, friends, maybe people who've never been to Unity. You and Emily, come over here. We do need ushers still for that service, for both services. Find this woman right here. This is you, Mom Emily. Find her and she can hook you up. It's real easy and fun, but we need a few more ushers for that show this Wednesday night. Today, we are finishing up and loading up our Wounded Knee drive. Our truck will, if it hasn't already arrived out front, it will be arriving very shortly. And we were going to be loading it immediately following this service at noon. If you'd like to stick around and help us load a box or a bike or a bag or two, it would be a massive help. It turns a 3-hour job into a 20-minute job. So definitely hang out with us following this service. Next week, next Sunday, there will be no 9 a.m. service, but the 11 a.m. service will be led by Jack, and it will be our annual year-end Burning Bowl service, where we write down all the things from this year that we no longer want to carry into the next year. It's a fantastic way to end a year. Maybe you've got a feeling, a person, a job, something you want to burn out. We write it down and we burn it right here in this room at next week's 11 a.m. service. So that's a great way to end the year, a great way to start the year. Starting on Sunday, January 4th, Rigpa, who is also, she teaches our Kundalini yoga classes each Friday. She is going to be offering a 3-week class that she's titling The Art of Emptiness. And it's a guided practice for real, actual inner peace to start the new year. It's $80. You can sign up for it in the bookstore, and it starts Sunday, January 4th. It'll be right over here in Fellowship Hall. It goes from 1 to 3 p.m. So definitely check that out. All right, thank you. It's definitely for me.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Unity today. So this is the point in our service where it's a call for prayer, and I'm going to invite our prayer partner out and Norma to sing with me. This is a time for us to be able to extend ourselves to others in consciousness and bring to mind any family members or friends that might be facing a challenge at this time, and you can just write their names down on a piece of paper that's available to you in front of you. And our prayer partner, George, will come down the aisle and pick them up and bring them to our prayer box that's located usually over here. Everything's moved. Oh, it's over there right now. It'll be prayed over here in Unity, the building, for 30 days here, and then it'll be sent to Unity Village for another 30 days. So we also like to sing this song to come in the presence of this room and leave the world outside these doors and just allow this next hour to be a blessing to all of us and just come in the presence of our spiritual connection with this higher good. So we ask you to sing with us, and this is George, and you can go down and collect some names.
You are the air.
No, she's right here. Now there it is. Here we go. That was a big intro. You are the air I breathe. You are the air I breathe. Your holy presence living in me. singing. All right, I'm going to invite the Unity Choir up, and we're going to sing a choir number that you're going to join along and stand up with us. And we'll come up here. You are coming up here. You're not directing this one. Just come here. Come here. We look organized. We've been here a lot this week, day and night, getting ready for the show. So this service, you'll just see a little bit of fragmented energy around it. It's kind of been thrown together. Here we go. Let's all stand and sing together.
You know this.
Everybody knows this song. Here we go.
Hearts of heaven, angels sing, glory to the newborn King. Peace on earth and mercy mild, God and broken reconciled. Joyful all ye nations rise, joyful triumph of the skies. With angelic hosts proclaim, Christ is born in Bethlehem. Hark the herald angels sing, glory to the newborn King. Christ my highest heaven adored, Christ the everlasting Lord. Come desire of nations come, fix in us thy humble home. Veiled in flesh the Godhead see, hail thee born deity. Praise the Spirit there to dwell, Jesus Son Emmanuel. Hark the herald angels sing, glory to the newborn King.
While you're standing, let's say thank you, God, for this beautiful day. And turn and meet one another and get each other's names. Good morning.
Good morning.
How are
I'm
you?
Jody.
Jody. I've met you before.
Oh.
Yeah, nice to meet you. For me. You can just ask for them. Yeah.
Good morning, Jack.
Now, there's one person here that really has it right. Let's do it again and see if we can do it right. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, Jack. The way it should sound. Okay. In the year 1724, in the year 1724, well, is this a free-for-all? What am I doing here?
Back for you doing it to me 3 weeks ago, all the way through my service.
I did this to you.
Now we're going to do Jack.
So now it's, okay, go for it. Okay. Look, can we just keep the laughter down? This is a church. In the year 1724, mystic poet Angeles Silesius left this truth for all to ponder. Can we have this first PowerPoint, please? Though Christ 1,000 times in Bethlehem be born, if he's not born in thee, thy soul is still forlorn. it relates the idea that our time, space, history thinking holds us in a limited level of awareness, so that we continue to see this birth of Christ as the birth of Jesus 2,000 years ago. And for so many traditional Christians, the whole concept that he is the only begotten Son of God is what they are worshiping. And yet, unless there's an expansion in human awareness, there can be no reconciliation with the presence of God as love, peace, and healing. So that's what I'm approaching today, this whole truth being related very simply and cogently in this one statement: though Christ 1,000 times in Bethlehem be born, if he's not born in thee, thy soul is still forlorn. It's a calling, really, for us to consider more deeply, introspectively, what is the will of God? What is this creation in which we find ourselves? Were we born to live in a world that is so torn by war and conflict and fear and disease? Was that the purpose of this Creator? It is not. The purpose of this Creator, though, cannot be understood because for so long we have been confined to limited definitions of God and life, and we have lost touch with the ability to feel good, the ability to feel well-being and joy and peace, and to be able to play at life instead of work at it. This truth being shared by this mystical poet, of course, is the foundation truth of unity. This idea of Christ in you is your hope of glory. Not Christ outside of you, not Christ 2,000 years ago born in a manger, but Christ being born within you, coming up into your consciousness, rising in your awareness, and being your focus as you live a life of peace, healing, love, and joy. That's what we were born to experience. That is the destiny of every human being. And so, at some point, each of us is being called to enter into the consciousness divine and not necessarily just accept the limitations of the world and go, well, ho-hum, that's the way it is, da-da-da-da-da-da-da. There are masters living the life divine right now in so many places throughout the world that we need to be cognizant of it. And the only thing that we need to do is to give our attention to the truth that is being revealed by these masters. Consider this. Would it be possible for you, in any way that you imagine heaven to be, would it be possible for you to be in that heaven, however you imagine it, if you didn't have peace of mind? Well, of course, it wouldn't be possible. If you don't have peace of mind, if you still have the same kind of concerns and worry and fears that most people are living in the outside directed world, then how could you ever say you're in heaven? Heaven has always been an acknowledgement of a place of joy and happiness and love. Could you actually be there if you still carry the same fears, concerns, and distractions with you? No, you couldn't be there. You would have to resolve it in some way. And that is what we are about doing. Throughout the centuries, since the historic birth of Jesus, who demonstrated the universal Christ nature, this nature of Christ has always risen with the peace that surpasses the understanding of the world. Think about that. There would have to be a peace that surpasses the understanding and the thinking of the world, the way the people in the world think. And if we could not arrive in that peace of mind that transcends all that's taking place in the fear-driven limitations of the world, if we cannot attain that peace, that Christ consciousness, then we are forlorn. Then we have lost it, that there is no hope. There's no reason for prayer. If we cannot transcend the limited thinking of the world that has a definition of peace that goes like this: a person has peace when his or her personal expectations, desires, and demands are being met by circumstances and every other person. Then the thinking of the world is that's when we have peace. As long as the conditions and circumstances surrounding us are meeting our personal expectations, our personal desires, our dictates, our demands, we're good. We have peace. But it's a fleeting peace. It's not a lasting peace. And if you're seeking to enter into the consciousness that the masters of life refer to as heaven, then you will have to have a peace that transcends that definition. You'll have to have a peace that is not contingent upon conditions or circumstances meeting your personal expectations, desires, and demands. Is there such a peace? It's called mystical peace. And Jesus spoke to it in this way. Can we have this next PowerPoint, please? Very briefly and short, in the Gospel of John, chapter 14, verse 27, "Peace I leave with you, my peace I give to you. Not as the world gives, do I give to you." And the implication is, not as the world gives to you, do I give you this peace. This is a peace that transcends how the world defines peace. So we have all of this that's taking place, all of the education, all of the religion that's forever taking place and holding people in a limited definition of life. That definition of life in which we were born and raised and educated has it that the way to get peace is to get your personal desires and demands, your self-interest met. That's what our world, especially in the Western culture, is. Everybody in the Western culture believes that everybody else is simply vying to get personal advantages that will see him through or her through to have a life that will be good enough. But that's not the peace that Jesus said, "I'm leaving you." The peace I'm leaving you, you see, is not of the world, not as the world gives peace or thinks of peace. I'm giving you a peace that will sustain you regardless of circumstances, regardless of what's taking place. Can you imagine? You have God. You want to believe that God is benevolent, that this creation is God's way of allowing his offspring, children, to receive a life truly worth living. And so if God is benevolent, isn't it possible that the will of God has always been that you could find a state of consciousness in which no matter what was taking place around you in the world, you would be in a state of well-being, peace, and happiness? Wouldn't that be more like the God we think is benevolent, creative, and his love as is spoken about in the Bible? But we have a problem. We have been conditioned from our beginning to live a life in the illusion of separation. And mystical peace is not something that is spoken about. It's not related in school. In fact, they've taken prayer and meditation out of school. They want us to be thinking human beings, not faith-based, loving human beings. So the thinking of the world cannot, regardless of the technology that it may bring forward, it cannot ever bring mystical peace to an individual. The only thing that can bring anyone that mystical peace is for that one to take to task his or her awareness and by spiritual practice come into the recognition that their core nature is Christ. That your nature is divine. You're not just a separate body, mind in a world of separate others in which you have to vie for your self-interests against everything else. You are divine in origin, but you must become divine in expression. You must awaken to the ideal that you were born to live, which is the divine, loving, Christ, healing consciousness. To help you understand that, I want to share with you this particular story. In 1863, the United States was in the middle of the Civil War. The nation was bleeding. Families were divided. The future felt uncertain. And the poet, Henry Wadsworth Longfellow, was living in a private war of his own. His wife had died in a terrible fire 2 years earlier. He had been burned trying to save her. And then his son went to war and was severely wounded, nearly paralyzed. Grief was not an idea for him. It was the air he was breathing. On Christmas Day, in the middle of all that, he heard the church bells ringing. Bells that had rung for centuries with the same message: peace on earth, goodwill to all. And something in his consciousness shifted. He didn't claim the war was over. He didn't pretend his grief was gone. But he remembered something bigger than the moment. He remembered the deeper story. And from that remembering, he wrote what became the carol, "I Heard the Bells on Christmas Day," a song that doesn't erase pain, but refuses to crown pain as the ultimate truth. The poem ends with the conviction that right is stronger than wrong, love is not defeated, and peace of Christ prevails over all despair.
day. Their old familiar carols play, and mild and sweet their songs repeat, of peace on earth, goodwill to men. And the bells are ringing like a choir singing, and in my heart I hear them. Peace on earth, goodwill to men. And in despair I bow my head. There is no peace on earth, I said, for hate is strong and mocks the song of peace on earth, goodwill to men. But the bells are ringing, peace on earth, like a choir singing, peace on earth. Does anybody hear that? Peace on earth, goodwill to men. Then ring the bells more loud and deep. God is not dead, nor does he sleep. The long shall fail, the right prevail, with peace on earth, goodwill to men. Then ring and singing on its way. The world revolved from night to day. A voice of time, a chant sublime. Peace on earth, goodwill to men. And the bells are ringing, peace on earth, for a choir singing, peace on earth. With our hearts we'll hear that, peace on earth, goodwill to men. Do you hear the bells are ringing? The light, the angels singing. Open up your heart and hear them. Peace on earth, goodwill to men.
Show is because these are all of our big soloists. We have these young people that have come out to really perform, and they're all professional singers. You're going to love it, so get your tickets. You'll be very proud of your spiritual center when you bring people to share the show with them. Thanks, guys.
So the birth of Christ is an internal birth that can come through us and change everything. But the one thing it changes is that it gives us a vision of life that we have passed by, ignored, and did not even consider in so many years of living that we have become unconscious to feeling the miracle, just the miracle, just the miracle of being alive. And that miracle opens our awareness to the reality of the sacred presence of everything around us. In all of the major religions, it has this oneness. In A Course in Miracles, it speaks about the at-one-ment, the consciousness of at-one-ment, where we no longer live in the fear-driven illusion of separation from that which we perceive, but we live in the awareness of the sacred connection we have with everything. That is an understanding of the presence of God. And Eckhart Tolle, the master Eckhart Tolle, speaks to this very clearly. Can we have this next PowerPoint, please? This is on page 54 of his book, Stillness Speaks. The now, that is the now moment, is as it is because it cannot be otherwise. What Buddhists have always known, physicists now confirm, there are no isolated things or events. Underneath the surface appearance, all things are interconnected, are part of the totality of the cosmos that has brought about the form that this moment takes. Can we take this back again, please? The now is as it is because it cannot be otherwise. Take a moment to consider that line. The moment in which you find yourself or awaken to cannot be anything but what it is. If that's true, can you see that having resistance to what is taking place in the present moment is useless, unnecessary suffering, and that the outer-directed, illusion-driven world creates the conflict and suffering because there is no understanding of the necessity to flow with the moment, to recognize yourself as one with what is happening in the moment. And in doing that, the mind of life opens up within you. You have become capable of knowing the truth of your presence, your awareness, and your ability to bring about healing, harmony, and love. And so, our calling from the essence of life itself is that we should awaken to this divine nature, which is capable of bestowing forgiveness, bestowing consideration, bestowing peace, regardless of anything that appears to be taking place to the otherwise, we have entered into the service, the intelligence, and the will of the living, ever-present God. The now is as it is because it cannot be otherwise. What Buddhists have always known, and that's not necessarily true because I know Buddhists that don't know it. Some Buddhists have always known, physicists now confirm there are no isolated things or events. Underneath the surface appearance, all things are interconnected, are part of the totality of the cosmos that has brought about the form that this moment takes. That's a truth that will free anyone who takes it to heart. But it is a hard truth to live, and it cannot be lived without mindfulness. Our spiritual journey is about becoming mindful that everything that we see around us is really part of God. And while it may not yet appear to be divine in expression, it is, its very nature, at the core of it, just as the core of you, it is seeking to find well-being. Let me feel good. Let me know I am okay. Let me know I can be free to live and love and share joy without any fear of loss. Everything that lives is seeking to know itself as one with God. And until we arrive there, we will have false perceptions that create useless, unnecessary suffering and war. And that has never been the will of the Creator of all life. All of life that humans have, just take a look at it, how we, because we're so, I'm not saying about everyone here, there are some people that are awake, but for the most part, the outer-directed, illusion-driven world takes everything for granted. They've accepted what the authority figures have proposed is their life, to be consumers. No more, not to be free, considerate, faith-loving, faith-based humans. Not to be serving, loving, caring humans, but to be consumers. And to be out in front with your self-interest, preceding you and tainting every relationship you have, because the only thing that you've been conditioned to believe in is your own personal advantages being met. You have been cheated out of life by those who have preceded you and who themselves have been cheated. So let me share this with you, because it is not just I who am saying this. Can we see the Gospel of Thomas, please? This is the Gospel of Thomas, log 113. His disciples said to him, "When will the kingdom come?" He said, "It will not come when it is expected." They will not say, "Look here," or "Look, there it is." Rather, the kingdom of the Father is spread out on the earth, but people do not see it. Can we take this back again, please? The Master's disciples said to him, "When will the kingdom come? When will the consciousness divine, the love, the joy, the peace, the well-being that should have come from a benevolent creator, when will it arrive? And he said, it will not come when it is expected. They will not say, look, here it is, or look, it's over there. Because the kingdom of the Father is spread out on the earth, but you don't see it. And you've been programmed down through the ages not to see it, not to recognize it, and not to enter into it. But it's still there. Just consider the miracle of being alive. Can we get up every day and take everything that we go through for granted? The miracle of being alive. Do you see the real people around you? Do you see the real sunrise, or the sunset? Does your heart open and do you feel the joy of the beauty of the life in which you have found yourself? Do you see the inspiration of children at play? And that's all they're going to do, because the spirit of them is playing. They're just going to play, and you may go on and think, well, they need to get serious. Yeah, we need to train them to be more serious. But they just want to play. They're inspired to play. As birds, beautiful birds are inspired to sing. Where did birds come from? Look at them. Have you seen them lately?
Yes, there's one in the foyer.
Okay. Birds just do what birds do. They do the will of God. They're everywhere for us to see. And what about dogs? I want to talk about dogs. I do. Who created dogs? Who created dogs to be man's best friend? Who created dogs to befriend mankind even when he's irritable, angry, mean, forgets to feed them? Does the dog change toward them? Does the dog run away? No. They were created for us to see the unconditional consideration and love that needs to be shared if we want to heal life. If we want to heal life. Several years ago, I was up in a park having a conversation with a friend from the church, and that's the 9th Street Park, 9th. And a blind man with a seeing eye dog walked down the street by the park and obviously had a meeting with somebody and stopped and was talking. And the seeing eye dog was standing there beside him and looking at this other dog chasing a frisbee, and other dogs just running across the park. And it stood there, and you knew in his heart it wanted to just chase a frisbee. It wanted to be off that leather leash and harness. It just wanted to play. But it was trained to care for this human being. Caring, acknowledging, just beginning to acknowledge the miracle of being alive. And how, when you acknowledge that miracle, you have the ability to be considerate, caring, loving, faithful. So take a moment and tell me about the illusion of thinking you are self-created. Are you? Who breathes through you? Who pumps your blood and delivers the nutrients and oxygen to the million different places in your physical body life? Who grows your hair? Where does that come from? Have you seen, or do you see, the real people around you? Can you see that deep, deep inside them, there is longing for that beauty that comes with being free to be alive as you are? Do you see that? Do you see the real dog? Have you ever stopped and seen the real dog? The kingdom of God is not coming with signs to be observed. Nobody's going to point to it. Nobody's going to say, oh, here it is, or it's over there, or it's beyond the stars. When you finally drop this body, then you'll be there. Yeah, you'll be capable of understanding what it means to be truly alive and feeling good, feeling well-being. Did you know that that is our calling? That regardless of the circumstances taking place all around us, we are capable of feeling well-being when we enter into the consciousness divine. A consciousness that calls us out of the limited, illusionary definition of self into the self of all we see. I want to share with you my favorite quote from Eckhart Tolle. Can we have this next PowerPoint, please? Again, from Stillness Speaks on page 98. The playfulness and joy of a dog is unconditional love and readiness to celebrate life at any moment, often contrasts sharply with the inner state of the dog's owner, depressed, anxious, burdened by problems, lost in thought, not present in the only place and only time there is, here and now. One wonders, living with this person, how does the dog manage to remain so sane, so joyous? We can be capable of seeing the light that inspires children to play, inspires the dog to be man's best friend, inspires those who commit those many acts of kindness taking place all the time, but not for personal recognition, only because it feels good to understand you are one with everything you look upon and everything you see. And there's only God waiting for you to be free. I'm going to end this with a quote from Eckhart Tolle. Can we have this final PowerPoint, please? This again is from Stillness Speaks. By knowing yourself as the awareness in which phenomenal existence happens, you become free of dependency on the phenomena and free of self-seeking in situations, places, and conditions. In other words, what happens or doesn't happen is not that important anymore. Things lose their heaviness, their seriousness. A playfulness comes into your life. You recognize this world as a cosmic dance, the dance of form, no more, no less. Can we take this back once more? By knowing yourself as the awareness in which phenomenal existence happens, you become free of dependency on the phenomena and free of self-seeking in situations, places, and conditions. In other words, what happens or doesn't happen is not that important anymore. Things lose their heaviness, their seriousness. A playfulness comes into your life. You recognize this world as a cosmic dance, the dance of form, no more, no less. We'll just take a couple of moments for meditation. Take a couple of deep breaths. And let us begin to be mindful. It requires us to be mindful in order to finally enter into that true estate of enlightened consciousness. Bring this truth gently to mind. Christ is the true self in me, who opens my mind when I make peace and love my moment-to-moment priority. Christ is the true self in me, who opens my mind when I make peace and love my moment-to-moment priority. Christ is the true self in me, who opens my mind when I make peace and love my moment-to-moment priority. Let us then go forth from this meditation to those places we occupy in time and space, mindful that in every moment we have the ability to be emissaries of consideration, kindness, and peace. We will take an offering for unity now. I'd like to talk to you that are watching this on a screen. You tune into Unity of Boulder because you're looking for those insights that will help you live life more fully, effectively, and beautifully. Well, you couldn't do anything more for that quest than to donate to Unity of Boulder. Become part of what gives it the opportunity to share these truths that heal our lives. And our thanks goes out to those who are recurring donors, tithers, and you allow us to at least have some idea of how much money we have to spend in order to deal with all of the different things we have to deal with this church and the ministry itself. So it's helpful, and we give thanks for those people that have become recurring tithers. If you're interested in doing that, it's not that you have to give a lot of money. You might give $10, $20 a month. You might give more if you can afford it. It's appreciated because it gives us the ability to know how much we can use to take care of all of the expenses involved in running this church center. And everyone here can bring into their hands that gift they'd like to make to Unity right now, and we can bless that gift with this offering prayer. Divine love, through me, blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive, because I give. And so it is.
Tyler. For you, so you're welcome to join us.
Excelsis
well, that is the closing of our service. We have fellowship after the service with food and tea and coffee, and we're going to be loading the U-Haul with all of the Wounded Knee gifts right after the service. So if you can stay and help us load it, we'll make it a lot quicker. Heather and all of us have been working really hard on the production and that process, so we could use more hands for sure to help with this last piece of it. The shows are at 5 and 7, and the tickets are in the lobby. And you don't even really have to have a ticket if you have one. I mean, you'll be let in either way. But we definitely want to see you there, and let's all rise and sing Let There Be Peace on Earth together.
Okay.
It's Wednesday, Christmas Eve at 5 and 7. Okay, here we go.